Well, one of the most common answers is education. But there's so much, there's education, there's misinformation out there. I mean, on the internet, there's just as much misinformation
I'd say
as
more.
there is quality information. So we need to learn. Here's the thing. In fact, what you're speaking of in terms of not just having single crops and having diversity in terms of the environment and everything is hearkening back to what's now being termed organic regenerative agriculture, where everything is a holistic concept, where the plants and the herbs and everything, there's more diversity, similar to what happens in life and the best thing that happens in life. It's like a field of just red flowers is not as attractive as the diversity that you see in wildflowers and different things going on there. But we need to have more diversity in terms of our makeup in business, in community, and we need to have more diversity in nature as well. Organic regenerative agriculture. That's emerging as well as a new area of study and focus, and as a remedy to
commercial agriculture.
Commercial agriculture, not using so many, the chemicals and all this, and having more balance and balancing out the effects of global warming, etc. Anyway, so when it comes to naturalness, you have a lot of money. You got multi-billions of dollars that are invested in getting their products to market. So besides just I would say the education about it, and I'll say the education in terms of what our bodies are, what our bodies need, what is food, growing food. I put in 4 garden beds this year, and I've done more gardening this year than I ever have actually in my life. But I was doing some things at the center, and I had a garden about 7 years ago. But I learned more about growing the plants and foods and all that through this experience. And we need to get our children involved. We need to again understand what our body needs and start growing that, so we have food security, food availability, and so we can also appreciate nature, because when if we don't poison our plants at home in our gardens, then perhaps we won't be poisoning and allowing poisons to go into the waters and the skies and the land elsewhere as well. Become more sensitized to that. Okay? We already see where glyphosate, is on the market, and that it's poisoning. We're like, okay, I'm going to put down weed killer.
Yeah.
Instead of understanding that these are herbs, we're looking at them as being something that we don't want.
We think it's aesthetically unpleasant.
There we go. Yeah, it's like, this is medicine. We're walking over medicine instead of appreciating the medicine and knowing how to utilize it. So it's education, it's application, it's appreciation, it's changing the educational curriculum in schools. Because there's some things in school that children are being taught, and even adults in college, that are practically worthless compared to how do you live, how do you work, and what's going to be beneficial for you and your loved ones. You were talking about me not looking my age, as many people say. I went to a picnic with a number of my friends from high school, around the people that went to school around the same time, and most people, those of us who were still here, most of them diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, all kinds of things. People were coming up to me, all kinds of things. It was almost depressing hearing about all these things. But what happens is, we don't learn about that. We know more about our cars, we know more about our houses than we do our bodies. Okay? Is that by design, or is that by neglect? Right?
I would say it's probably like a percentage thing. Like some of it's design, percentage of it's neglect. I think more of the percentage is design, especially in the black community, than neglect. And then by the time you get to the point where design, you can take more control of it, then neglect may take over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
the ergo, a healer in every home, in every family.
Yeah.
At least one person. One of my sisters advocated for me to take classes, and in fact, I started my classes on Dexter Boulevard, the place that I learned and kind of was mentored, and was where I also started the first iteration of Detroit Holistic Center. But she said, "Hey, I'm working. We're working. You need to be the kind of the point person." And so my first class on nutrition. My first class is on healing and pain therapy. My first class is in holistic health. Came as a result of me kind of being that designee. I had the interest, I had a strong interest, and I had the encouragement and support of family. And so all that I brought back to the family. Okay? And as that's happened, then guess what? The culture in the family changes.
Wow.
The choices in terms of food and things. I mean, it impacted my mother more than my father. It was like I stopped eating meat. My mother she kind of went back and forth for a time. Before a long time, she stopped eating meat. She was plant-based for a good part of her the latter years of her life. Now here it is, her youngest child influenced her to change that, and she was very open. I trained her. She was a therapist. She did front office and all kinds of things, and I employed a number of my family members as well.
That's big.
And that's what we got to do.
That's
it's
big.
Empowerment, employment, entrepreneurship. A reason that drugs proliferate, drugs or alcohol, tobacco, whatever, any number of the negative things, the reasons why they proliferate in our communities is because they're profitable. Not because people choose. Nobody who comes up at 6 years old and say, "Yeah, I want to smoke and I want to drink and I want to mess up my body." Nobody says that. I want to eventually have COPD. I want to be a drug addict, and and I want to die early or be sick most of my life. Nobody says that. But what happens is that when people are making money from this, that's what they're going to do. If you have a candy store, you're going to sell candy, and if that's supporting the family, then you're going to bring candy home. And if it's a liquor store, you're going to bring liquor home. If it's, if you're selling drugs, and hopefully you won't get high on your own supply, but chances are you will. The people around you are going to be influenced by that. We have to make health and wellness profitable, preferred, attractive. Okay, so as we change that culture, and again, with $276 billion industry going to 300 and then 400 billion, there is a lot of money in health, and we got to bring that forward so the people are making money doing positive things. So it's like, okay, you're doing fitness and exercise, you're doing nutrition, you're doing coaching, you're doing cleansing, you're doing whatever, and as those things become more positive and attractive, that's going to change the way that we live.